Hello, Lilith and Sagittarius. How are you doing? So, Lilith and Sagittarius, this is not if your sun is Sagittarius and you're interested in Lilith. This is if Lilith for you is sitting in Sagittarius, or as well, if you've got Lilith in the ninth house. So I'm going to put, I feel really, I don't know why I've been out. I haven't done a Lilith reading in a long time. It's got to be maybe 2.5, 3 weeks. And getting back into her energy is like, oh my God. It's almost like pulling like a bunch of bricks behind me because I'm sort of out of practice with it. She's a heavy energy to go into. And I even had a nap before I did this reading. I did Aries and uploaded it and had lunch. And my little dog Lily came up into her dog bed. And I was like, oh, I'm going to lay down with the dog and have a nap. And Lilith, so Lilith and Sag, this is an interesting placement. It can have a lot of really good positive aspects, actually, as well as the 9th house. Like, you could have Lilith and Taurus, but it could be in your 9th house. So I encourage you to watch the house placements as well. And Lilith, I have organized it. So in my video library, you'll see like zodiac readings, Oakman, and there's Dark Moon Lilith or something like that, whatever I've called it. So you can go in there and you can see them. Now, I'm also going to put at the bottom because Lilith is like a mathematical equation in space that moves around or something like that. Well, there's more to it than this. She's also the story in the fable of the first woman that God created. She wouldn't take any of Adam's shit. So Adam complained to God and said, I can't handle this. I need someone. So then he gave him Eve. And Eve was like, okay, I'll do whatever you want, Adam. And it made Adam a weak person. So, you know. I'm going right into Lilith. There we go. Okay. Yep, I'm getting ahead of the brick pile now. So, Lilith and Sag. Oh, there is a link at the bottom. That's what I'm trying to get to here. I just feel like I'm being pulled into this soupy mix of Lilith energy. But I'm also trying to pull away from it at the same time. Which is really, but that would actually be Lilith and Sagittarius. So that makes sense. Because I kind of procrastinated. I really wanted to do my Lilith readings. I was pumped. I want to get back into this. Get ready for Sagittarius. No, I think I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to have a nap. That's Lilith and Sag. So, there's going to be links below where you can find out what your Lilith sits in. And then once you know what zodiac sign Lilith sits in, look at your regular astrological chart to see what house placement that zodiac is in. So there you go. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I got. So I always do my little research and make my notes too, which is kind of very Lilith and Sagittarius, very studious. All right, you ready? So, oh yeah, I'm going to get into cards in a minute. You know, these are in Lilith's time and my time because she's dealing with me. And I'm coming off a vacation, so all right. Lilith in Sagittarius. Very adventurous side. Often, and often feel restricted. That's a big one. That's a big in this one about the feelings of restriction in life. And I think that can come out in many different ways. That can come out in relationships. It can come out in work. It can come out in partnerships. It can come out in terms of your own interpretation of what's going on in the world. And as well with Lilith, I want to say too that there's always, a scale because Lilith can be like way up here a lot of times for people. And we can be talking about heavy trauma, or we can be talking about, it's not really trauma that you're dealing with, but it's still on that same topic that the trauma was expressed in, but you're living it down here. Or you've been, a lot of Lilith has to do with our childhood experiences and how we are kind of like working through that and developing understandings of ourselves through adulthood until death. But, you kind of get better with Lilith as you get older in life. She's just really messed up and you just get worse. And you got to come back around another lifetime and figure it all out. So anyway, I'm really getting into sassy Lilith here. You can't get it figured out. You can't get your shit figured out. I'm going to make you do it again. It's kind of Lilith, yeah. Yeah. You think I'm going to be submissive to you? Well, screw you. I'm going into outer space. All right, so, and I was just going to say a lot of Lilith has to do with childhood stuff. So, in childhood, may have been taught that a certain set of rules is right and everything else is wrong. Okay, so you may have also had, like, one of your parents could have been like a real hard ass. You could have one parent that was a real hard ass and one that wasn't, and kind of trying to live between the two of those. I don't know, that's come up a lot about, like, you could have had a parent this and you could have had a parent that. Everybody's got a parent this and everybody's got a parent that. So, you know, I don't think we're any more or less special than anyone else, but it's kind of how it shows up. So, and because we're talking about a lot of stuff here about restrictions and education with Sagittarius, and people in authority, like these, I want to say probably comes down to ways that you may have felt restricted in your life, and that could pop through as a parent. Everybody got a parent or a caregiver in some aspect, unless you were raised by wolves. And so, you know, everybody's got their own opinion and their way of seeing things. You have a strong desire to carve out your own path. And I think that's going to show up too, like how strong that is probably going to have a lot to do with how restricted you may or may not have felt in your childhood, and how hard, like, other aspects of your chart are going to either bring balance or exaggerate certain traits in here. So depending on that, like how hard you're pushing back or not. Now, here's the really interesting, this is what I really pulled out from what I researched here, which to me I find is probably the most important aspect of Lilith and Sagittarius, is because there can be a desire to run away from things, or come up with other reasons not to go there or do that. Like I sort of was with this reading. I need a nap. I need to do this. But the one thing that you cannot run away from is yourself. So it's almost like I feel like this, in this zodiac sign, it's really about your self-exploration and finding your answers within yourself. Is so important in this sign. I mean, it's really important in general, actually. But you can't. So it's hard to escape the self. It's hard to escape self-reflection with this placement. You can escape everything but yourself. The search for truth is very strong in this sign, but always the inner truth will be your biggest search. Likely to have had parents of different religions, philosophical beliefs, and socioeconomic backgrounds. So that's what I'm saying too. Like you may have had two parents or caregivers that were very different somehow. Like one might have been, you may have had a Muslim mother or father, and then you may have had a Hindu mother or father, the opposite. Or you may have had maybe... I hate getting into politics, but just like in general, like maybe you had a parent who was very left-wing and one who was very right-winged. But it kind of, it seems to show up that you would have, one of those parents would have been like, this is it. This is the only damn truth. Everything outside of this line is false. But it's only based on that person's interpretation, or as far as their own experiences have gone. So it seems like, you know, you hang on to those beliefs as a child, but then you start pulling away from them, and you can pull away from them pretty hard. Yeah, one parent may have been more domineering. Often as children, something made you feel very restricted. Yes, as an adult, you crave freedom. Committed relationships can be difficult for you, especially with smothering or distrustful partners. So you would probably be and not necessarily, again, it depends on other placements, but there's probably a sense of needing to have freedom, needing to have personal space, and having a partner that can trust it. It's interesting that I'm saying that because one of my girlfriends, she's a Taurus, but I'd love to look at her chart because she's not like a lot of Tauruses that I've met. And And she can give her partner a ton of space, and he's a Sagittarius. So I'm kind of seeing how this, like, I talked about it in another reading where he goes on, every year he goes on a fishing trip with his buddies to like Northern Ontario. I don't know how long it takes him to get there, but they are off the grid. Like I don't even know how they get into this cabin where they fish for like a week or two. And there's no contact. You can't send an email. There's nothing. There's nothing out there. She has absolutely no contact with him for, I think, about a week or two. But like, I kind of sense that, like, you would do good in a relationship where a partner is trusting of you. Okay, yeah, go and do that. And they don't feel like needy or neglected if they haven't spoken to you in 2 weeks. We're like, well, Sagittarius doesn't care. They're not here. You know, like, so I think Lilith and Sagittarius, it's really important to have partnerships and be in situations where you have a sense of freedom, like a traveling salesman or someone who works on the road. Someone who can move from one location to another periodically, like different branches. You may unconsciously ask for permission to enjoy things. Oh yeah, that was interesting. Or reject what others tell you and do the opposite for the sake of rebellion. So this also has a sense of, actually it's funny because I don't have Lilith and Sagittarius, but I'm a little bit like this, where, if somebody tells you to do something, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But if somebody wants you to do something, the best thing to probably do is to say, well, you can't do that. There's no way you can do that. I'll show you I can do that, right? It's a little bit like that. Like, okay, fine. I'm not going to do that. Like, but it's not necessarily the best thing for you. It's just because it's pushing that button that, yeah. You may, there is a tendency to be involved with cults. Oh, no, this was interesting too. Your desire for freedom and sex can be more expressive when you are abroad. You tend to be more ready to take risks when away from home. Now, that can be good or bad because there's definitely a sense of wanting to explore the unknown and wanting to delve into cultures and people and places that you haven't experienced. And this is great because it can really broaden your perspective. But it's also that sense of, I couldn't find it at home. I'm going to find it over here. I'll tell you, if you couldn't find something really important within yourself and your own journey and you couldn't find it over here, you're probably not going to find it over there. So it's, that's where it comes back around again to the thing that you can't get away from. The thing that you can't leave or exit from is yourself. And that answer is always going to be inside you. It's like you can take all sorts of long journeys or feel like you need to move yourself away from many different relationships or situations or commitments. But at the end of the day, you will always have a relationship and a commitment to number one, to who you are. And I think that's kind of what Lilith tries to keep bringing you around to in this sign, is to look at that again. You didn't find it over here. And then that can make you kind of feel like, you know what? Yeah, my dad was right. You know, they're all just like that over there, or this and this and this. But no, not necessarily. It can be about hoping to find something over there and you don't find it. So you think that's disappointing or that's not right. But well, it's really, you gotta look inside. Yeah, okay, so you can also get yourself in trouble. Be careful, because when you are being more freedom-based and more sexually open abroad, you do have to be careful because cultures are different and you don't know where you are. So I'm just saying, like, it can be a little risky, but you may take risks for the sake of rebellion. And that could be something too that happens much earlier on in life. You know, kind of like the running away from home, or I'm not going to college, I'm going to go work in Tibet, which is fine, but what's the reason you're doing it for, right? You tend to be more ready to take risks when away from home. See, it shows up again. So just be careful. This placement can be very promiscuous. And especially with sexual exploration, there tends to be, with this sign, more people who would fall into bisexual or gay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just part of it's a lot about exploration here. But I think all that exploration is really fine. Be safe, be intelligent about how you're doing that. and really try to think about why you're doing it. What is it that you're trying to discover for yourself? Are you trying to find answers that you couldn't find over here and you're hoping to find them over there? Because at the end of the day, actually the world is pretty similar. It's just people have kind of evolved and created systems that work mostly based on the environments that they live in, and the world is full of different environments. But when you break everything down, people are very simple, or very, well, they can be. Yeah, we can be very simple. What our needs are, like we break bread together, we sit and we eat. Like you will find that there are so many similarities, but as long as you get those answers from within. It really seems important with this Lilith and Sagittarius. So now I'm just going to talk about Lilith in the 9th house. And if you don't have Lilith in the 9th house, but you do have her in Sagittarius, these really, they can still kind of echo through as well. Okay, Lilith in the 9th house. This is one of the more positive house placements for Lilith. You can have profound impacts can be made here. These can be impacts that people make on you, and you can be, or these can be impacts that you are making on other people. Your value systems may change quite a bit as you grow older. And that kind of hinted on that with Lilith and Sagittarius. So, I mean, because, you know, when you're a child, you kind of like think, okay, well, that's what mom or dad says, so I guess that's what it is. And, you know, well, Tommy doesn't think that. Tommy's not right. But then, you know, you get a little older, a little more exposed to things, a little more desire to explore. I mean, oh, my dad is kind of a bigot. Like, you know, like you start to see things differently. Teachers and authority figures may inspire or repulse you. Not a lot of in between here. So that's quite interesting too. But again, Lilith, the purpose of Lilith is to try to find balance in things. Faith, religion, and philosophy are the big areas in life where Lilith may affect you with this house placement. If she's sitting in your 9th house, you may end up finding betrayal in religion. Like maybe you were raised a Baptist or a Methodist, or I don't know. Can you be a Baptist Methodist? But, and then like finding something about yourself that's different from what maybe that group or that religion would describe as acceptable. Especially too, if you're dealing with bisexual and gay. Like so many religions are just like, oh, you're going to hell. So, you know, you can find betrayal in that. You may find betrayal in religion. You may lose your faith in life in general or people. Because there's a real sense of, God, I really believe this. And now I don't believe in anything. This is bullshit, or this is crazy. There's a sense of, like, there's a sense of rebellion, right? But what does the rebellious person, what is the true purpose of rebellion? Because so often the things that we feel entrap us are really our own mindset in terms of that entrapping us. So again, it comes back into here. Oh, this is good for you in the 9th house. Actually, I want to, even just in Sagittarius, because we're talking about the inner you. So even if you're going on an exploration beyond your own neighborhood, or you're going to new destinations, it's the inner you. Pilgrimages can be very important and life-changing for you in this placement. A pilgrimage. It's sort of like that eat, pray, love energy. So if you are hitting some sort of point in life where you don't understand, or you don't believe what you're used to believe in, and how do you find that truth? As long as you can go there on an exploration, go into, I'm really clumsy lately. I'm just going to tell you, you should see my toes. Oh my God. See, I don't know what happened to me on vacation. I have a big bruise on my toe here, and my other toe, I cut it on the bookcase. And I'm knocking my glasses around. I'm just a hot mess right now. So I'm just saying, if it looks like Cindy's just a little kerfuffled, I kind of am. I'm just really clumsy. So, these pilgrimages can be really, really important for you. You may find some, you still can find meaning in something that you've never experienced before. But I think if you have a healthy mindset about who you are and how you're seeing the world, you can actually have a really positive experience in things outside of you. But going without expectation, just going to find and seek. because expectation is usually what leaves us feeling defeated or disappointment. This house placement, you may be more likely to drop out of college or not even finish your studies. Again, though, too, right? Like, because with teachers and authority, they may inspire or repulse you. Lilith is extremely self-willed, and issues with authority figures can be frequent in this placement. Now, there's a really good thing, like, okay, because this can come out in a lot of negative ways, like some of the stuff I've talked about. But remember what the first thing was that I said here about this house placement. This is one of the more positive house placements for Lilith. Like, there can be real profound impacts made here. People towards you and you towards other people. And this is how. So you can be a unique thinker. And you can actually be involved in reforming society and making changes. You may talk about taboo topics. You may embrace them, or topics that are rarely discussed. So, you see, like, let's say there's something about, because with Sagittarius, we could talk about the education system. Let's say there's something that you really dislike about the education system. Like, you could be someone who goes on and 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 complains about it and doesn't do anything to make a difference. Doesn't do anything to initiate some sort of new dynamic change or idea that can cause something to grow and expand and really create reform. Or you can just be the whiner that sits on the bench. I don't like that. I don't like that. You're not helping anyone when you do that. I'm just saying it because it says you can do good changes with this. Or you can be a whining and complaining blob. I'm just Lilith. I'm channeling Lilith. Sorry. Other people's opinions may not seem valid. See, that's dangerous too. Because everybody has their own experience. Like looking at, like I said, I mean, you may have had a parent that was really domineering, really strong in their opinions about what is right and what is wrong, and this group is not, and then getting to the point and realize, well, yeah, my parent was a bigot or a racist or really closed-minded. But, you know, there's something that person went through, and nobody knows their parents' life story. Like, really few of us know the details in a parent's life and what formed them and transformed them. Making me think of, what is that? Oh, gosh. That movie, The Joy Luck. Oh, that's so funny. The Joy Luck Club is coming to mind here, because there was a second movie made on that, and I can't remember what it's called. It was after that. And she learned all about what her mother went through. Oh my God. And she really, she'd never got, that's exactly what this is. And it's so funny because I have this sitting on here. These are my fortune cookie cards. Lilith wanted me to pull one of these for you, and I thought, that's odd. I don't think I've done that for any of the Lilith readings, and now I know why. Because the Joy Luck Club was kind of like that. Not understanding the experiences that created someone's belief system. You don't necessarily have to embrace that, but at least understanding it. And she, in the Joy Luck Club movie, she had difficulty understanding her mom and sort of the cultural beliefs that her parents had. But then once she really understood what her mom had been through and how that made her the person she was, she realized what an incredibly strong woman her mother was. That's the thing, right? Is to be able to explore that, because if you just get into the point where other people's opinions may not seem valid to you at all, it's really because you're only seeing everything through your own lens. So let's see what this is that she wants to give you in a fortune cookie. What does she want to tell you? I'm always afraid though. Oh God. You just never know what Lilith's going to say. I'm going to tell you straight up. All right, Lilith. What is this message for Lilith and Sagittarius and Lilith in the 9th house? Signs. Your future positive direction will reveal itself. Any doubts and confusions will soon disappear. Oh, that's interesting. So this kind of has that feeling of pilgrimage. But a pilgrimage can be something very, like, it can be something like a new group of people in your neighborhood, and going and getting to know them and understand them, and what kind of has created the basis of whatever they believe in or work on or whatever it is. It's keeping a positive vibe as you move forward. So the rebellion can be very significant and really life-changing for you and others if you utilize it in a really good way. Like if you think about, well, I dislike how this is happening, or I see it as restrictive or confining to society this way. But if we could do it this way, it would be really positive, right? Like that's like if you just go in and just say, screw this, I'm going to rebel against everything. I mean, who are you helping in that? Or who are you, what are you helping to grow? And it really feels like if you could look for the positive in what it is that you would like to change. How would you like it to benefit people as opposed to focusing on how you think it negatively affects everyone? How would you like it to positively affect people? And then it seems like any doubts and confusion will soon disappear. It almost opens everything up to you. Like it almost opens up a path. You came in with the right intention. The universe wants to work with you and open up a path to make that change. You have love at the bottom too. Love is in the air, a great time for commitment and taking relationships to the next level. It feels like those of you coming to this reading, like you are about to move into a really positive, growth fulfilled time period for yourselves. And so it could be important to think about, you know, if there are certain things that really, really bother you. And that's completely legit. Like things that really, really bother you in society, or things that are going on right now. It's how do you become the change? And I feel like you're about to move into new connections, like a pilgrimage almost. So I am now just going to open up the tarot and see what Lilith has to come out, the message for you guys. She's got me to combine two decks, which is not easy to shuffle, but they actually go well together. The Murder of Crows deck and the Heaven and Earth tarot deck are here. I feel like I'm really close in there. I'm really clumsy right now. I'm not kidding. My right foot, my big toe, and my third toe. My third toe wouldn't stop bleeding last night. I stubbed it on the corner of the bookcase. It just ripped the skin. I'm hearing five cards. I'm sorry if you had earbuds in. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, you guys right now, you're on a path to go towards some sort of change. It's so important that you think about what this is for you, like how you can make a positive change. It just seems so important, like you are about to go on some sort of a new experience here, a new cycle, but it feels very journey-like. Wow, you have the Lovers in the World at the bottom. This Lovers card reminds me so much of a Judgment. This is a being called up here. Being called up. And you're being called up What are you being called up for right now? This is going to be different for everyone, but it really does have something to do with a significant change and releasing the feeling of being trapped, releasing the feeling of having no direction, releasing the feeling of perhaps being involved in some sort of a system or something that's not benefiting those in it or you. We've got the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, and the Tower. You know, we talked about like your path being clear for you if you are going in with a sense of making positive change, and that the universe will open up a path to you. That's really talking right here with the Knight of Swords and into the Ten of Pentacles. This has the energy of feeling like, so the Ten of Pentacles can be like, it can be a place of worship. It can be a place of education. It can be your home. It can be a business. And what I'm really seeing here is like, you see how these crows are like pecking away at something. There's two ways you can look at this. You can look at it, and to the crow's perspective, this seems like a bountiful harvest, like something really bountiful. Someone is making or receiving quite a bit out of some sort of situation that involves others. It could involve a structure. It could involve some sort of institution in your world. But what I'm getting here is that there are others that feel kind of like left out in this. They cannot reach this. They cannot get to this bountiful possibility. Now, but there's an ace sitting here, like a new idea, some sort of a new change. It's so timely that this is coming for you. I really feel like this is timely. Like whenever you're watching this, Lilith is literally telling you like you are about to go on a path here that's going to utilize this rebellious energy that sits within you, but in a really positive way. Because this is fascinating again, like this Eight of Swords, this feeling like you can't move forward, and these crows coming in. You're almost serving as one who's had a perspective on not feeling like you fit in or feeling like you're trapped in something, and having the new idea, having the initial, it's like an initial catalyst to change, and coming in and making the change, like freeing this individual, freeing those that can't see a way out, because you have gained some sort of perspective here, like you can almost see what's going on from outside of the box. So now I want to get into the details. This really is feeling like coming up for you. It's really interesting too how the cards came out. We have all of the Murder of Crows are sitting in the middle, and it's bookend by a card from Heaven and Earth on either side. It's really destroying, breaking down something that's been created to free. It could even be like in your own personal life too. Like you're about to have the opportunity to do that. The Knight, okay, it really wanted to come out. I think it's the Ace of Pentacles. The Knight of Swords. Oh my God. It's the Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. You're on your way. There's definitely either like you in a group, you having some sort of perspective on something that exists outside of you and being the catalyst to change. And it's just something very significant in your life This reading really feels quite timely. The Ten of Pentacles. Look at that. The Seven of Wands. This, oh my gosh. The Seven of Wands and the Page of Cups. This is kind of like being able to see through a defense system. Being able to have the elixir or the cure to get through some sort of a defense system. This could even be like your own home life or your own work life can make you feel like really confined and trapped here, even though it should be something that's very, very physically bountiful. So what is this Ace of Pentacles? It's come up twice here. This Ace of Pentacles. It's an awful lot. This is, okay. Simmer down. Simmer down. Wow. The Queen of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. There's that good intention. There is that good intention with the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups. It's literally taking like the joy within you, the intention of positive change. It's taking that, this sense of singularity, and creating it in a very multifaceted way. And allowing it, it's turning something of physical abundance into emotional happiness. It's not, well, this does not just serve my intellect. This does not just serve a meeting place. This does not just serve a place to pick up my paycheck, a place, you know, it serves on an emotional level here. That's what you have the capacity to bring into your life. Very timely. This feels very timely. Or into the lives of others. It's a change. And then with the Queen of Swords sitting here, it's like there's no confusion. There's nothing but seeing very clearly and straight ahead. This is the kind of energy of having a plan that has a beautiful foundation for it. You've got the Ace of Pentacles twice and the Knight of Swords twice. There's nothing standing in the way here. It's about to, where was it, this path? Any doubts and confusions will soon disappear. I really feel like that is exactly what you're about to go into here with this Queen of Swords. But then the Eight of Swords, right? But this is what where there's doubt and confusion about. People can feel that they have limited options, or it's not possible to move forward in something, or they will forever be stuck in a situation. The Eight of Swords. I hadn't touched my cards for like a good 10, 11 days on my vacation. I was off, and they're really eager to talk. It's like they miss me. The Eight of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the King of Cups. Look at this. Equality. This is beautiful. This is bringing equality and movement where where movement wasn't capable. And then the King of Cups, like actually bringing emotion. Here you have the King and Queen of Cups, and you have the Ten of Pentacles. Or the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. Yeah. Oh, I love this reading because you can be this rebellious. I see this so often in people. They have all this rebellion, but they don't do anything successful with it. They're just a dark voice in a dark situation. And everyone is obviously, yes, on their own journey. But think about what it is that you want to change. And what is it, if you don't like something, how can you make that better? I always feel like people they're always ready to point out all of the problems with this and with that. What's your solution? I don't know. I don't feel that with you. I want to say that I don't. I feel like you have solution, and as long as you can keep that in mind, that you can see how something could be better, you can really make a change here. And even if it's in your own life, like just your own life, if something is making you feel like you've been pecked at or picked at, and you haven't had, it kind of stifled too, like trapped, contained, confined. There's really the sense of a brand new beginning here for you. Big time. And it really serves emotional fulfillment. The Tower. This is like where things really change. Wow, the 5 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, and the 8 of Cups. I believe that's the order that it came out in. Oh, that's interesting. At first I thought, oh, this is walking away from celebration. You know what I see this is? I think this is walking away from the conflict. This is eliminating the conflict. For some of you, this is walking away from something. You may be involved in something that should be celebratory, but it's just full of conflict. It's not working. This just doesn't work. There's trying to make it better, but it just can't come together. And if you think about that, from the 5 of Wands into the 4 of Wands, well, there's too many wands involved. So there's too many elements. There's too many chefs in the kitchen for something to really be successful. With the 8 of Cups here, I feel like for some of you, it's just walking away from conflict. Like feeling the sense of self-empowerment. Maybe that's what Lilith is really here to talk to you about, is self-empowerment. As long as you have gone within and you've looked inside and you're finding those answers and realizing that you're not going to find answers outside of yourself. But once you find those answers internally, you're going to have a broader, a higher perspective on everything that you're involved in. And if that's positive or negative for you, based on who you see yourself internally as. With the 8 of Wands at the bottom and the Knight of Cups. Look at that. Lots of Knight energy and movement and Chariot. Yeah, wow. That is movement. Movement of the heart space. Movement, I want to say too, it's sort of like dreamy and fantastical ideas. Not every dreamy and fantastical idea is meant to create something in the physical realm, but it's definitely can be used to inspire. To inspire, and even down the road, long after you're gone, may actually become something real and physical in the 3 dimension. So there you go. That was Lilith and Sagittarius. That's interesting. So guys, I really feel like this is the only Lilith sign I've done where I feel like this is timely for you whenever you're getting it, is to get ready for some sort of change, about to make some sort of major change in your life. So I'm going to go do the extended. I leave it completely open for Lilith. And just, yeah, once I sit down to do the reading, she'll let me know what cards to pull out and what we're going to talk about. And she just talks to you because she's running the show. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.